So, this is about the new Mother Tree Project book by a forestry scientist, Suzanne Simard or something like that. Simard. And how she debunks the leftist guru Slavoj Zizek, who is claiming that ecology as a balance of nature is a new age ideology that that can't be maintained, and that in fact that the earth has adapted to Western industrial pollution, and therefore we need to continue on with Western industrial civilization to save the earth. And so Zizek's big claim was that the ecological crisis would cause the collapse of the big other, but he just keeps promoting Platonic science as a Christian worldview that supposedly has this radical engagement through Platonic mathematics and science, and technology will therefore save us. As he says, the spear is this wound is healed by the spear that smote it. As it kind of tautological circular foundation of Western science. But if we look at this new book, the Mother Tree Project, this lady in Canada who grew up in a logging family, she wanted to become a logger, so she went and studied forestry. And then she realized that there was this thing that she calls the mother tree, where a forest will have the largest tree that then relies on the endomycorrhizal fungal networks in the ground to communicate with its seedling trees and also its non-related stranger trees. And this is what the fungal network is what enables the storage of carbon in the ground, so that there is as much carbon stored in the ground as above ground, and that we see in the trees. And that the fungal network releases enzymes to enable the trees to protect themselves from predators or disease, and also to get all the nutrition they need, and they can store way more water and then create the balance of creating rain and all that from the transpiration of the water. So she proves that there is indeed a ecological balance, and her science is being used by the Canadian government to improve their forestry logging practices. And she says, ideally we need a 100-year research project, because that's what the trees are doing, is they're maintaining this balance for over the long term and as far as human industrial civilization. And so obviously, with the release in the past couple days, the official release of the UN report, there's been news all over the world, the headline that the Earth is going to hit a 1.5 degrees Celsius warming global average by 2030, and that things will get worse, but if we take dramatic action, then we can try to stop the worst damage. But the problem is that the report still it still doesn't take a hard look at the empirical science of the evidence. So, but first of all, obviously, for example, Zizek claiming that Earth has adapted to industrial civilization is now officially disproven by this report. And if you search the phrase biological annihilation into Google Scholar, as I like to tell people, then that phrase biological annihilation reveals the evidence that obviously all life on Earth is directly threatened by Western industrial civilization. And so Zizek has been disproven, but of course he says, well, we have no choice. We have to continue forward with industrial civilization and using science as our guide of truth, even though it goes against our common sense that there won't be a catastrophe, and yet the science is our basis for the truth that tells us there will be a catastrophe, and nevertheless we have to move forward with the catastrophe, and thus there will be this collapse of the big other, as Zizek calls it, which is a collapse of the ideological faith in the superego of society. That would be our ruling institutions, and like political and religious, and basically the breakdown of civilization. And so we can see that in the reaction to this report, where people call the scientists quote unquote greenies, and say the greenies are the problem, and that coal is booming, and so it's best to invest in coal because Asia is relying on coal to try to to run their air conditioning to stay cool, and therefore the greenies are wrong, because obviously we're going to have coal, we're going to keep burning coal, and in the past 3 decades, the coal is still 80% of energy use worldwide. And so, of course, they don't mention that the aerosol masking effect with the latest science. If you read it, then it's proven that a 40% decrease in sulfur pollution from coal would also heat Earth another 1 degree Celsius, because of the aerosol masking effect. and this is, peer-reviewed science in the mainstream top science journals or whatever. So Zizek wants to say, well, we don't need the balance of ecology, and nature actually never was balanced. But then you have other people saying that global warming is fake and that it's just a natural cycle, and the climate's always changing, and that it's the Milankovitch cycle, which is funny because according to the Milankovitch cycle, we're supposed to be going into an ice age right now, but due to modern civilization, we've literally stopped the ice age cycle on Earth, which has been going on for the last, 400,000 or 800,000 years, something like that. So we've gone way beyond that ice age cycle because we've warmed Earth way beyond. I think they just recently did a study of the last 700,000 years, proving that we are way beyond warmer than it's ever been warm for the ice age cycle. So if Zizek really studied science, then he would realize that the de Broglie law of phase harmony means that the ecological balance is actually based in quantum biology as negentropy from the virtual photons that are the non-commutative phase of time and frequency energy. And this is what the ancients already knew. They had discovered it through meditation and the numb energy of the Sam Bushman culture, which is like the Kundalini. And I sent this to Zizek in 1996, and he dismissed it and wrote his book, The Plague of Fantasies, in 1997 as a straw man argument against me. And he ranted against ecology as a new age ideology. So he's been